Hello and welcome. This is the Digital Office at Home podcast. And the reason why I say it like that is because we all get to work from home. We don't have to go in and drive through the traffic and get, all frustrated about all the weirdos that are out there trying to move around us because we're going too slow. I'm talking about myself now. Hi, I'm Marian LaSalle, and my co-host is Gail Kendig. And today our special guest is Kat. And Kat Rich is with us today because we have something really exciting to talk to her about and with her about. So join me and welcome her. Hi, Kat.
Hey there. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here and to be meeting your audience as well.
Oh, good. Yes, our
Thank you.
audience is really excited about working from home. Sometimes they're getting ready to retire and they're looking at what possibly they can do. Or sometimes they're working a side hustle while they're working a corporate job. There's a lot of different people, single moms, single dads, people who shouldn't even be looking at a side hustle or another job, but they're curious about what it is we're doing. So this kind of gives them a little bird's eye view about what it is that people like us do. So Gail, good
Mhm.
morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important that this every guest we have has another story, a new story. So, and people need ideas. The thing that we find the most is that they are so, I guess, mesmerized by all of the social media posts and scrolling their phones that they're kind of like not thinking anymore for themselves. They're just being entertained. So when it comes time for them to have to make a decision, like, should I work from home? What's out there? They're not focused on that as much, and they lose track of that, and then they lose track of time, and then it's, panic time, and then let me just get a part-time job someplace and fast food restaurant or something like that, or a greeter. So,
Right.
you hopefully you'll give hope to some of the people from different ideas of what they can do to work from home.
Well, let me
Right. I remember
start with,
exact.
I'm sorry, Kat, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Ask your question.
One
I
more
was just going to
thing.
tag on to what Gail said.
Yeah, I want you to because Gail's always full of really good information. She asks the best questions and she pulls out information. I really have to think about it when she's talking. So I want to just kind of go over what the three of us do when we work from home. So I'm a web designer, but my passion is helping people do it themselves. So sometimes you don't have the time. If you need a website quick or you need a funnel quick, then you need to hire someone like me. But my passion is helping people to learn how to do it themselves. So it doesn't matter if you get it going, all at once, or you stretch it out over time. I'm, I'm like, they call me the by your side guide. And Gail, what do you do from home?
Well, I'm actually a coach. I'm not gonna say I'm an ex-recruiter, but I'm kind of a matchmaker. So I match people to jobs mostly and help them with their careers. That's kind of my strength, and sometimes dating. I match a lot of people together because I started out, in my early 20s, at a dating service, which actually made me realize I was really good with listening to people and their, what they wanted out of life, which brought me somehow to recruiting, which full circle, it's all about people and their needs and
Oh, I love
and
that.
just life in general. So it's fun, and I just help people with ideas. I just help them think about certain things differently. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? It's one of our favorite,
100%.
right, quotes.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Kat, what's your 30-second commercial?
Yeah, so I'm actually kind of maybe the opposite of what you do, which is I do the done for you marketing services. So I'm a marketing agency and I help people who want to focus on their craft, not have to focus on their marketing. So
Oh,
I get
perfect.
the whole system set up from their lead generation, like getting people to the website, converting on their website, getting on their calendar.
Cool.
I love
Excellent.
Yeah.
that. Okay.
How long have you been doing that?
I've done it in various capacities for about 3 to 4 years.
Cool, cool. So you've grown, because it's constantly changing, right? So 3 to 4 years into
Yeah.
it, it's great just to get the highlights now, like, oh, there's a new thing, so you've got the foundation. So now you're always learning probably new apps, new things.
Right. Right. I even started out, I was cold calling. I was working for a team, a real estate team, and I was the one cold calling and generating the leads and setting the appointments.
Oh,
So I was
good.
making 250 cold calls a day and then talking to people if they might be interested in, selling their house or buying a house. And if they were, then I'd talk them through the process, set the appointment. So then I was doing that. But at some point I realized that was going to put a cap. I wasn't actually going to be able to grow past 250 because there's call limits and phone number restrictions throughout the, like one phone number can call a day. So I wasn't able to grow beyond that. So I kept thinking, well, what can I do instead of reaching out to people to get others to reach out to me? And this was in 2020 that I'm making these wonderings, the discoverings. And then this is where I started learning about internet marketing and how to attract people to you. So it was in the 2020 boom when people were all online and social media was blowing up. And so from that era into sort of where it has settled down a little bit now is where I have built out instead of reaching out. Now I've got people reaching out to me.
Excellent. 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 So yeah, you've become the
Gail,
go-to person.
Wait till you hear though who her target is.
Is it old people?
No, it's old and young, but they're interested in nutrition. They're interested in staying healthy.
Oh,
So that's how we got
Yes.
connected, because she thought that I was doing some kind of nutritional something or other.
Oh.
When in reality I was talking about Ricky,
Oh, exactly. Yeah, the hell, she's a great chef and got her book and everything. She loves being healthy. We just watch her. Yeah.
Yes.
Salivate a lot, but
We just watch.
Well, and that's the thing that, nowadays that it's a lot of it about, especially in the entrepreneur space, it really is so important to take care of yourself because
It
your
is.
brain is your biggest asset as an entrepreneur when you're out there. And so to clear out the brain fog, to give you that energy, to give you that mental clarity and sharpness to overcome these problems that we
Right.
constantly have in business, it really comes down to the health and not just the food you eat, but, the whole community, the friends, the family, the spiritual connection, like all of these
Sure.
things
Yep, exactly.
combined together to make that,
Yeah.
to take care of you and keep your brain
Yeah.
healthy.
We're in a very holistic time right now where we do have to think about all of that. I know I am working a lot with the elderly only because of my mom. I'm around a lot of older people, but even my own family, we're all old. We're all in our 60s. I'll be 70. My husband, we just celebrated his brother's 80th, and they're all worried about dementia, right? Because their mom had dementia and they have that in their family. And all they talk about is blueberries and salmon, to feed your brain, feed your brain. So I was like, okay, enough with the food, like my other cousin, she's like, don't use aluminum foil. I'm like, oh, my liver, all these things that, you got to think about. And, but I was thinking of how to I like to exercise your brain. Get your brain to think, like, you have the little cells, look at them, your little brain cells, as they've got like weight, like they're doing lifts, with a weight, so I'm always thinking of how you can get people to exercise your brain by, using your right hand or left, whichever your predominant one is, use the opposite in putting your necklace on, or putting instead of your right foot first in your pants, your left foot. So things like that, small things. They're only thinking blueberries and salmon. So I'm thinking, how do we get them to exercise their actual brain? So do you do that too?
I do more, yes, meditation. I do a lot of trauma work. I work with life coaches to help me to go back into my past to find things that trigger me and then go back and to resolve those issues. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
that's sort of like a lot of
it's
where I've done rather than like brushing my teeth with my left hand.
yeah, well, but try to practice those things, because that really exercises your brain, gets like, oh, So the syntax is like taking another road that they're not familiar with, right?
Yes.
There's the channels, and then so that's just, a little bit of my very small knowledge on that,
Right.
but it is important to, confuse your brain and have it start working. But you do
Right,
sound
right.
like you do cover a lot of different aspects of life.
So
You've done
me
a lot of work on yourself.
personally, I'm working on myself, but in my business, I'm only
Yeah.
doing the marketing agency, right? So I'm helping
That's
others to market. There happens to be a little bit of life coaching as well to help
uh-huh.
overcome limiting beliefs such as I want to help everybody. And
Yeah.
as you know, helping everybody is actually helping nobody. You
No
need
one.
to,
Right.
be able to figure out what problems you solve so that you can solve those problems for a specific person. So like helping someone overcome the belief that they only have that that they need to choose one person and then create a success path with that, and then talk about different ways that their specific industry needs to go out and market, because one of the marketing, we'll say, tactics is to throw stones at other marketing tactics. For instance, Facebook ads don't work, YouTube ads don't work. And like you throw stones at them because you want people to come over to your side.
Right. Right.
The truth is actually that all marketing methods work, but it's dependent on the industry. How are your people searching for you? What is their needs like? And by choosing your industry, like you mentioned, I'm working with nutritionists, that is going to be the determinant of the method of marketing. For instance, if I were helping plumbers, people who need a plumber are probably Googling plumbers near me, right? It could
Right.
probably
Right.
have a leak or a frozen pipe or something that you need help with right now. So for instance, Google Ads, Google Business Profile, sponsored ads on Google are going to be the way to get a plumber noticed. Nutritionists, I would actually say if you've already got a business and you're established, Facebook ads are the best way to go, because
Visual. It's very visual. Yeah.
not many people are going to Google and being like nutritionist near me at 12 a.m., right? So
Right.
they may go there and start Googling other symptoms for the thing that they've just been diagnosed with. And so we could rank for those keywords. But overall, nutritionist, this actually leads me to a interesting find that I found. Interesting find that I want to share. Is this a good time? Sure.
Yes.
So while I'm talking about the different ways to advertise, if you're a nutritionist and you've got, at least 5,000 income per month under your for your business, I would say Facebook ads are the best way to go. However, if you are starting out and you don't have a whole lot of cash and you just want to get started organically, you've got more time than money. Now, here's the blue ocean I found. And when I say blue ocean, it's as opposed to a red ocean. Like if you imagine water, it's like cutthroat competition, there's a lot of blood in the water and the blood turns the water red. However, the blue ocean is where everything is peaceful. You've got flow, no fish are fighting. This blue ocean is where nutritionists can live if we look at the Google business profile. Now, the Google business profile, oops, I raised my hand.
I was gonna
I was
say,
gonna say
you're
you just
talking and
popped
you're.
over. How did she pop over there? Okay, do we have
The Google business profile, if you, in any city, if you type in nutritionist near me or nutritionist Phoenix, nutritionist San Francisco, nutritionist New York, there's not a lot of nutritionists there are nutritionists that pop up, but they don't have rankings. They don't have Google business profile rankings. They don't have many reviews, and their websites are often not optimized. And
So
so
are you a Google? Are you a Google expert pretty much, or you work with the Google stuff?
the Google business profile
Uh-huh.
is right now for those people starting out, for those nutritionists, dietitians, health coaches. This is a blue ocean right now. I don't know
Cool.
how
Long it's
it
going.
hasn't been saturated,
Uh-huh.
but I was recently working with a hypnotist who we optimized his profile and he started getting all sorts of calls in. His
Oh,
people were booking on his calendar. It was It was crazy.
So
And so it
you
just kind
felt
of by
that, so
accident.
that's one of the things that you can that you like to focus on to get them as a foundation, to focus on
Yes.
getting that profile like really, really healthy so that people are going to get more business. So that's really good to talk
Right,
about.
right.
Great,
Yeah, and
great.
so the profile goes straight to like
Mhm.
Marian's talking about building out an optimized website. So for
Uh-huh.
lead capture. So
Gotcha.
that is the right now that's working the best for new
This,
nutritionists who are, I don't want to say new, but nutritionists who are starting out and who are making less than 5,000 a month. And I say less than 5,000 because Facebook ads do cost a little bit.
right,
And so
right.
you need to have that extra buffer.
Disposable income to
You know,
work
people do think that when they build a website that all of a sudden they're gonna get all these people that are gonna come and it doesn't work. It used to 25 years ago, well, but you do have to have other things. You have to
Yeah.
drive the traffic to your website so that they can get an idea. Or a phone number, or it doesn't have to be a website you drive them to, but yeah, that is a mistake when people spend a lot of money on a website. I won't let them spend a lot of money on a website
You're
unless
good
they
like
have
that.
a
Yeah.
huge, unless it's a bigger company and that, they have plenty of money. So I love what you're talking about, this blue ocean ideas that can drive the traffic to either your phone number or a website or wherever you want them to go. I love that. So, I have a question about how you got here. So you used to work with real estate. Why did you choose this specific niche to work with? Did you have a health problem and you wanted to help more nutritionists find, their clients? How did you pick it?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I yeah, like you said, I did start in real estate. Actually, my very first business was running a property management company over in Dubai. And that's another story to get into. But I ran that for 3 years and then I sold it and came back to the States to be with my family. When I came back to the States, I had these, I was still working in real estate, but I had these masses on my abdomen and there was one of them, or I had a mass, let me say a mass on my abdomen. I can move it from like my belly button over to the side and back. And I was like, this is really interesting. So I went to the doctor and I was like, hey, can we, tell me what's going on here? And they did a x-ray, they did a sonogram. And then they said, hey, we've got this thing in front. Looks like it's fluid filled. Not a big deal. It should resolve on its own. But there's something else in the background. And it was a solid mass and it was about the size of a grapefruit. So of course I'm struck with, I'm like, what is this? And they said, we don't know. We need to do more tests. So um, I'm freaked out. I'm still working real estate over here and there's a little bit of stress and I'm thinking, is this a stress ball? Is this what this is? And so they sent me to an oncologist. The oncologist said, yep, you need surgery. And I was like, well, what about fasting or what about a plant-based diet? And he says, nope, that won't work. That's just a fad. And he's like, go over here to schedule your appointment for surgery. And I
Mm,
said, thank you for your opinion. I'll get back to you on that. I
mm.
left. Of course, I had my cry, my breakdown, and then I fasted for a week and then went on a plant-based diet for the next, well, I guess that was 6 years ago. And I went back for a scan after a year of being on the plant-based diet, and it had gone from 12 centimeters to 8 centimeters.
Mm.
And then in the next year, it went from 8 centimeters down to 6 centimeters. And so, like, everything started shrinking by just having this overall improved segment of health. So now I'm now working in real estate and the real estate market is booming in 2020. So all this happened in 2018. Real estate market's booming in 2020, 2021. I get into coaching because I was doing cold calling, got really good at it, started coaching real estate agents on the sales. And then from there, I was like, well, wouldn't it be better if we just did internet marketing? Like we did marketing and got people to call. So I started teaching them how to do it. But real estate agents have such a packed schedule between meetings at their office and open houses, showing houses, going on listing appointments, all these different things that they I ended up transitioning over to doing content creation for them. Now, for a real estate agent, organic marketing is the best. So like content creation would be better than optimizing Google Business Profile. Because if you type in real estate agent near me, you're going to have so many agents. You have to click down, down, down. So only by number 30, you would even have a chance at ranking. So Google Business Profile is not great for real estate agents just because of the industry. So I'm working with agents, doing their content creation for them. And then I decided, what am I doing? Like throughout my life, people always said, you should need to be a health coach. You need to be coaching people on plant-based nutrition. So this is when I was like, well, I don't know that I want to be the coach, but I can help other coaches now that I figured out this internet marketing thing. So now I help nutritionists, health coaches, personal trainers, anybody, healers, anybody who's looking to improve health in some way, help them to get the clients they need to feed their business so that they can continue to spread the impact.
I love this story, and you are
Right.
going to, you're going to see that people are attracted to you just because of that story. That story of how I went from something that I wasn't really passionate about, but was, you know, a good job and all that, and you liked it, and I'm sure you had good friends and all that, to something that you're really excited about, helping nutritionists,
Yes.
making Americans, or maybe even worldwide, I don't know, helping people find the nutritionists that they need, because we've got all this information coming in from all different directions. Like you said, we've got the surgeons who just want to cut it out. And we've got the other people who just want to give you a pill to cure it, you know, or to mask it. I love this story. So I guess everybody should be listening to this. If you're in a job or you're in an industry that you're not really passionate about, think about how she was able to go from something that was okay to something that's really exciting for her. So the same thing happened to me. I love the elderly. For some reason, even as a youngster, I wanted to help people who couldn't really help themselves. And it has morphed into so many different things that I've done. I've worked for visiting nurses, and I've worked for a place for mom, and I've worked for places like a concierge service who help people find the right person for your elderly mom or dad, or even you, type of thing. And it has all come down to they need help on the internet. So my clients, the people that are attracted to me and that I'm attracted to, are over 50 who have trouble working on their website or working on figuring anything out online. And I'm sure, Gail, you have the same type of story. You got excited about something and you just kind of morphed over into it. So
Yeah,
think
you're
about
right.
this. Mm.
And you guys are a lot alike, because you really, it's your, it gives you the energy. It gives you that, because both of you, when you're helping other people, you're at your you're at your peak. It's like, I'm not going to be happy unless I'm helping somebody today. You guys both remind me of that. Now, I do help people, but I'm excited anyway, all the time. But I realized a long time ago that so many people, like 99.9 people, don't know their purpose. They go through life. You like time to make, remember the old commercial, time to make the donuts, you know, you get up at,
Oh,
4
that's
o'clock in the
right.
morning or whatever, go make the donuts. But they just go through life floating like a cork in the ocean. They're just like, trying to do this, trying to do this. So, oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. They just don't know who they are, what they should be doing. And, it's great to find your passion, and your passion wasn't necessarily, real estate or the internet, but when you found that niche, like, I love doing that research. I love helping people get successful, become successful. I have the knowledge. I love sharing it. And you guys feel great when you're sharing with somebody. So I love that. And, I think that that's why we're like-minded. We just have to keep serving. You get up in the morning, like, who can I help today? I love it.
Yeah. So where do your customers usually come from, Kat? How are people attracted to you?
Exactly. So for a marketing agency, some of the best methods are through Facebook ads or through content creation. There's a lot of generic marketing agencies out there on Google. And because I'm not localized, I'm not focused on, I do have Google my business profile. But for me, I found that the best way of actually creating that connection is through a lot of social media. I am still actually doing some cold outreach. Even though I'm a marketing agency, I'm doing it both ways because I like to reach out and actually have a connection with somebody, as well as bringing them into my world. So I have a website. It's called Catapult Lead Gen with a K as in cat, Catapult Lead Gen, GEN, and .com. And that's where somebody can go and find out a little bit more about how it might work for them. And I've got a video there that explains the process of, finding your niche, because like I said, I'm working with nutritionists and health coaches. Doesn't mean I can't work with anybody else, but it means that that's what my marketing is targeting, right? Obviously, we could work with anybody else, or we can work with anybody in the space, but how do we actually call them out? We choose the niche. So that's the first kind of pillar of marketing, really, is who are you going to work with? And then getting your website optimized for lead capture, and then actually having that system to drive eyeballs to your website or your landing page, your funnel, whatever you want to call it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent, very excellent. Yeah, I love that. Love it.
Yeah, just put a name on it. So when I'm teaching somebody the content marketing portion, they get confused about the name. So if I call it a newsletter, or if I call it an article, if I call it a post, it's all the same. It's text and you can add a picture to it, right? But it depends on where you put it, what you're going to call it. But it's the same thing. And the same thing with websites. A funnel is a website page, okay? So they get they're like, what's a funnel? Yes, there's very specific words that you can use that will describe a funnel. It's really like one thought on that page type of thing. So they don't get confused, because people do get confused when they get on a website and there's too much to look at. They're like, I don't know, and then they leave.
Yeah.
What is it they say? A confused mind
Never
says
buys,
no.
right? I compare it to a grocery store as like a website. You can make any meal you want in there. There's so much stuff available versus a Subway sandwich shop. What they do is in Subway, they ask you, okay, what kind of bread do you want? What length do you want it? What do you want on it, right? It's a very sequential way of building a sandwich. You could get the same thing in a grocery store, but it's less organized. So what you want to do is send them to your sandwich shop of the internet, which is your funnel. And these are kind of the two ways to think of a website, which is the grocery store, and a funnel, which is a streamlined sandwich shop.
I love that analogy because I love subs. And I'll have one. Okay, I pick
so
that potato, whatever, pickles, cheese, So that's the funnel. I like that. It's a good analogy.
It is. It really is.
It's making me hungry, but
I
whatever.
know.
Everything makes
I
me.
just started a fast today. So
me too.
yes, I thought about you. I know you were
That's
coming
good.
on
I love
today. I said, okay, June is the month. I'm going to start a fast, and it's not.
Girl.
Yeah,
For the month of June? The month of June?
the
No.
whole month of June. Yes, I'm going to do a fast, and a very specific, targeted fast. So I'm really excited about it.
Well, you did
It makes
the
me
11
happy.
to 7, right? You did the synchronized, or what's it called? The 11, 7 to 11, or?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. It's not synchronized.
Well, it's what you only eat from
Yes.
such to.
Yes, I don't know what it's called, but I do. I start eating at 11
Intermittent.
and I have to be done by 5. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm only drinking water.
Okay. So you're eating between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m.
But
Yes.
isn't it called
Okay.
something? Those programs?
It's called something.
Intermittent fasting, maybe?
That's
Yeah,
it.
intermittent, that's the ticket, right? Now, my husband always says he's going to fast after he's done with a really big meal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat for 3 days. I'm like, yeah, okay. And I always tell him, start with skipping one meal. Like, just skip one meal and see how it goes,
Yes. Hey, Kat,
Yeah.
before we leave, I want to make sure that you have talked about everything that you wanted to get across today, because I really want people that need you to be able to find you and to get the information that they need. Now, down below all of our podcast information, it's going to have your links and everything, so you don't have to worry about any of that. we're on YouTube, we're on all the popular podcast apps. So down below, anybody that is watching this, you can contact Kat or us for anything you have a question or you want to contact us, of course. But is there something specific that you would like to end today's podcast with?
Well, very similar, I think, to what you're doing. I'm also hosting a podcast where I interview a lot of doctors and plant-based nutritionists in the area. So if you are a nutritionist and you've built up a following, you've got an audience, or if you just want to be interviewed about your specific thing, you're like, hey, I heal diabetes or reverse diabetes, and I'd love to have a chat with you. My channel is called Get Vegan Clients. So it's youtube.com/GetVeganClients. And so that's where I could invite nutritionists and doctors to come in to get interviewed and actually grow their audience as well as have a chat.
I'm gonna start listening to your podcast. Absolutely. I'm sure I'll learn something.
It's very cool. I interviewed a doctor last week about how to reverse Alzheimer's.
Ooh, yes.
So he's working with a drug and lifestyle. So that was really cool. That was really cool.
Oh, I bet.
That's
All
gonna
right,
be
Gail,
amazing.
you have any last words for us, Gail?
No, congratulations on, your great business. You're helping a lot of people in lots of different ways. And I love how you're, bringing everything together. You're not just saying it's all about me. You're helping other people generate their information. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We want you to be able to share this podcast with other people and get your message out to the world. And we're here to help you do that. Thank you so much for your time. I learned a lot.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It really means a lot.
All right. Bye for now.